Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating, really high-stakes business turnaround story centered right in the heart of London. We're unpacking a strategic human resource management consultancy proposal put together for the board of directors of the European Club. Now, at first glance, a historic club planning a major physical refurbishment, it kind of just sounds like an architectural project, right? But as we're going to see, this is actually a profound case study in organizational survival. Because if you've ever watched a company try to modernize its exterior while completely ignoring its internal engine, well, you know exactly what's at stake here. And the stakes really come down to this single, shocking number: 50%. That represents a massive drop in the European Club's membership over just 5 years. Literally half of their members gone. Now, when a business loses half its customer base in that short of a window, you aren't just looking at a minor slump. You're looking at an existential threat. It's a glaring alarm bell that something at the very core of the operation is fundamentally broken and driving people away. So let's look at the club's current crisis and what is really a battle of hardware versus software. The board actually has a plan to fix this membership crisis. They want to launch a major physical refurbishment and modernization program. But here's the critical flaw. They're treating this as a hardware update. They want to fix the building, but a hardware update is absolutely doomed to fail if you don't simultaneously upgrade the software. And in any organization, the software is the people. Just look at the stark symptoms of internal decay here. You've got low employee morale and high turnover, especially among younger staff. Throw in outdated systems, a heavily hierarchical culture that literally suffocates innovation, and, unsurprisingly, poor customer service. The crucial point is this: you cannot fix a business just by painting the walls and buying new furniture. If the staff are miserable and constantly quitting, the members are going to feel it, no matter how beautiful that newly renovated dining room looks. Which brings us to the missing link: why strategic HR actually matters in a situation like this. We have to completely move away from this old-school view of HR as just an administrative, paper-pushing department. It needs to be a strategic powerhouse. Strategic Human Resource Management, or SHRM, is all about integrating people management directly with the business strategy. It aligns the employees, the organizational goals, and the operational improvements. Think of it like this: SHRM is the vital bridge that links the people working on the floor to the success of that big modernization program. It ensures that every single hire, every training module, and every cultural shift is tied directly to the ultimate goal, which is saving the club and getting that 50% membership back. To really put some weight behind this, consider this insight from academic literature. Armstrong argues that employees represent a strategic asset capable of creating long-term competitive advantage. I love that phrasing because it gives immediate strategic weight to everything we're talking about. The club's successful refurbishment relies entirely on the commitment, skills, and adaptation of its employees. Without a team that's engaged and actually capable of delivering an elevated experience, that competitive advantage simply won't exist, no matter how many millions you pour into the physical building. Okay, so what's the master plan? Let's open up the HR Service Toolkit. How do we actually fix this mess? The consultancy proposal outlines 3 absolutely critical HR interventions. First up, workforce planning. The club needs to figure out exactly what staffing requirements the new, modernized facilities will demand. Second, learning and development programs. If you're bringing in fancy new digital systems and demanding higher customer service standards, you have to train your staff to actually meet those expectations, right? And third, succession planning. This one is urgent. The proposal notes there have been recent transitions with the general manager and the previous CEO. You cannot have a leadership vacuum during a massive organizational transformation. Preparing your future leaders is non-negotiable. Now, this whole strategy is about connecting across all departments. It's an HR ecosystem. If you've ever survived a major company restructure, you know for sure that changes in one area ripple out everywhere. HR doesn't operate in a vacuum. Just look at how HR acts as a strategic partner across the board here. For operations, HR directly impacts staffing levels and productivity. For finance, it's all about managing labor costs and workforce investment. Marketing success, that depends entirely on the customer service quality and brand reputation that HR builds through training. Facilities management needs HR's help to get the staff on board with the actual refurbishment. And IT absolutely relies on HR to make sure employees have the digital skills to adopt new systems. Basically, HR is the foundational layer holding up this entire operational structure. But before we go changing everything, we have to talk about navigating the risks before renovation. Before a single hammer swings or a wall comes down, the club has to map out its hurdles. They need comprehensive pestle and workforce analyses. Let's contrast these risks visually. Internally, the club is facing massive skills gaps, tight budget constraints, and deeply ingrained workforce demographics and culture. Remember that rigid hierarchical culture we talked about? Well, long-serving employees might push back hard against these massive changes. Then, on the external side, you've got the realities of a tough labor market, strict legal requirements, the broader economy, and shifting expectations from the customers themselves. Understanding both these internal and external pressures is literally the only way management can anticipate risks before the chaos of renovation actually kicks off. All right, let's get into the roadmap to renewal and look at the execution plan. This is where we start building some real energetic momentum. We're shifting from crisis mode to a concrete execution plan. In the short term, it's about putting out fires, handling change management, customer service, and digital systems training for the existing staff. Then, moving into the medium term, the focus shifts to recruiting top-tier hospitality specialists, rolling out leadership development, and launching genuine employee engagement initiatives. Finally, the long-term phase solidifies everything. This is where you establish ongoing talent management, robust succession planning, and a true culture of continuous learning. It's a very clear, step-by-step approach to complete organizational renewal. So let's summarize the ultimate takeaways from this proposal. Strategic human resource management isn't just a nice-to-have add-on. It is absolutely essential for a successful transformation. Your people strategy must seamlessly align with your business strategy. Investing in employee development is the only way to pull out of that morale slump. HR has to permanently become a strategic partner at the executive table. And finally, immediate workforce planning needs to start right now before any physical renovations begin. Remember our metaphor from earlier, upgrading the hardware is completely useless if the software crashes. Which leaves us with this final, vital thought to consider. Think about your own organization, or the ones you interact with every day. Can a business truly transform if its people strategy doesn't evolve with it? As the European Club perfectly demonstrates, all the capital investment in the world won't save a company if it forgets that its people are the actual engine of its success. Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this gives you a powerful new lens for viewing organizational change.